Democrats, some Democrats, want to know if Russia swayed the election. President-elect Trump calls that whole idea ridiculous. Watch this.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just another excuse. I don't believe it. I don't know why. And I think it's just, they talked about all sorts of things. Every week it's another excuse. We had a massive landslide victory, as you know, in the Electoral College. I guess the final numbers are now at 306, and she, down to a very low number. No, I don't believe that at all.
I think this is a good opportunity to bring in the former director of the CIA. He is James Woolsey, and he's with us this morning. Director, I've got a couple of items of news here. The House Intelligence Chair said that Mr. Clapper, back in November, found no evidence of Russian hacking. The director of the National Intelligence Agency is telling Reuters he's not endorsed the CIA study. There's a lack of evidence. The FBI is not going along with these conclusions, a lack of evidence. Is there anything to these allegations at all?
I think you have to unpack this word hacking a little bit, because I think there are a couple of things going on. One is the Russians have something they call disinformation, desinformatia, which basically means heavily, carefully structured lies. And they attack pretty much all institutions in the West through fake photo shopping, through all sorts of tactics that embody the ethics and the ideological, the philosophical structure of the West. They attack, they're anti-Semitic, they go after the Jews, they go after the Catholics and the Pope. They may well be going after the Republicans and Democrats, or Democrats and Republicans. Certainly they go after political parties in Europe, a number of them. It's very nasty, and they do it all the time. If they were, somebody picked up for the first time that they were going after the Democrats in the United States, they might say, look, they're trying to influence the election. Maybe they are, but this disinformation stuff we've had to deal with for a long time, and we kind of know how to deal with it. Full stop. There is at least some possibility, I suppose, that the Russians are hacking in an electronic sense into the voting machines and trying to change the vote. I have seen no evidence of that, and that's what most people mean by hacking. But I think the likelihood that that is occurring would depend very heavily on there being a recount. Because if there's a recount, then these 25% of the voting machines that the United States uses that do not have any paper backup, just touch screen. If that's all you've got, it can be fiddled with, it can be tampered with and masked. We ought to really get away from those pure touchscreen. Okay. But unless it was through that route, or unless there was an insider inside the company or companies that produced the voting machines and they were tinkering with the software as it was produced or something like that, I haven't seen or heard of any information about the traditional kind of hacking that people talk about.
The main allegation is that they selectively release bad stuff about the Democrats to influence and make it a pro-Trump. That's the allegation here. But I do want to move on to one other topic for you, Jim. President-elect Trump says he only needs a weekly intelligence briefing, one a week. He doesn't need the same thing daily. What do you make of that? Because you used to supply these intelligence briefings, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I supplied them, but I supplied them in writing because President Clinton didn't want to sit there and listen to briefings either. It took too much time, and he was a speed reader, and so read them. He would annotate them sometimes and write notes to me and so forth, but he was not somebody who wanted to sit there for briefings either. Most of us can read faster than we can listen. So I think this is kind of a tempest in a teapot, frankly. I think presidents get to receive the information how they want it, weekly, daily, 5 times a week for 1 week, once a week for the next week, whatever.
He'll develop his own style, will he not? That's for sure.
Sure, I think so.
It's a very unique style at that. Jim, I'm going to run because I've got breaking news from the White House North. Thanks for joining us.
Sure.